Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be working on a project with some new stamps from a company called Rubber Stamp Tapestry, and they go by rubberstamptapestry.com. The thing that's really interesting about their stamps is that they're called peg stamps. And I'm going to put one up there so you can see. That's the image, but it's on this end. So you have this stick, which is a peg, that holds the image. Isn't that cool? And then, in this case, we're going to be working, oops, I didn't have that in light, sorry. We're going to be working on a set that involves this set of pots. And I did this card a little bit earlier with some distress inks and a tag and the pots and the photo and the floral stamps that are in there, and this little birdie that was also in there. So we're going to play with this a little bit today, and I hope you'll play along. This stamp set is very, 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 very tiny. So what that means to you is that when you're going to be stamping, I'm going to show you all of the stamps. Those are the stamps we're going to be using to create that big of an image. So you can imagine that this set of stamps will be stamped quite a few times, and then this stamp only once. I really like the idea of being able to create my own scene, so to speak, and I don't normally do that. What I'm starting with is a regular size tag, and what I did with it is I ran it over this bundled sage. For a minute I thought, well, that wasn't right, but it's bundled sage. I just ran the ink pad over both sides of it. This side's still wet. What I'm going to do now to get it to look like this one, make sure you can really see that. I'm not sure if you can or not. What I did was I sprayed it with water to get it, give it a mottled look, and it really came out looking really interesting, I thought, and that's what we're going to do with this one. And I'm going to do it off camera so that we don't get water all over everything. But I really spray a lot of water on there, and you can probably see how wet it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to heat set it. So we'll get our little heat tool out. Woo! Something just flew off. I don't know what it was. And we might have some warping, and if we do, we'll just flip it over. Not a big deal. I like this technique when you do this with distress inks. Whenever you have water involved, it changes the look of them completely, and I think it's just so cool. It just is, I don't know, it just adds to the whole look of it. And we'll flip it over. Ooh, that side's really wet. Also, it's really dark because I played with a different color ink, but I want to make sure that it flattens out my tag. So our tag should be, I think it's a little bit more on this side maybe. Okay. It doesn't matter really that it's not as mottled as the other one, but you can kind of see the change in the color, because what we're going to do differently, I like to do something different from one card to the next, and what we're going to do differently on this one is we're going to put in some little dots that look like raindrops, and we're going to do that with some crystal effects from Stampin' Up. If it isn't hard in the bottle, that we don't know. And what we're going to do with our tag is first we're going to use these Memento Inks, and the ones we're only going to be using 4 or 5 colors. We're going to be using Northern Pine for our greenery. We're going to be using Love Letter, Morocco, Dandelion, and Rich Cocoa. Rich Cocoa is what we're going to be doing on the on our little pots. Jeepers creepers. My mind's not working tonight. I want to make sure, before I go any further, I want to make sure my tag is in the screen. It's just barely in the screen. You never know. Anymore, I just can't seem to get this right. So I have to be at that far. Okay. Eventually I'm going to get this whole thing right. My camera is, it moves. Every time I stand up I seem to bump it, and then it moves a little bit. Oh, this is a little crooked. We might have to stamp the back. Oh, it's good enough. I like when it looks a little distressed like that. I think it gives it a cool look. So I don't have a problem with my pots having a little bit of weirdness to it. I'm okay with that. Then, again, these are very, very small. So when I did this, I started out with this one that's, I hope you can see that. It looks like a little limb. And I did a lot of those first because I found that made it so I kind of set the stage for, see how that worked? I'm going to hold it up more so you can see that. See how I did it 3 times to make it look like it was a continuation of the same branch. And I like doing that part first so that I can kind of get a feel for where I'm going to need to go with my flowers. And the other thing I like to make sure, I've been playing with these quite a bit, the other thing I like to do with them is I like to make these go down the side of the pot too, because you know a lot of times you'll have greenery that creeps down the side. So I like to have a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit that creeps down the pot. And then that way our pots have a little bit more than just the brown. I want to tell you a little bit more about these stamps and why I think they're so interesting. They have this really cool, I guess I'm going to call it pointer. Hold on, and I'm going to show you the pointer. I'm going to just fill in a little bit at the bottom of each of the pots. Okay. Do you see this line right here? That shows you where the bottom of the piece is. So if you want to know which direction you point in, you just go by where that little bar is. And I think that's cool. And it's a really good tool. The other thing that these are really great for, and something that we are going to do at some point, and not right away, because on Wednesday of this week I'm going to have my hip replaced, but I should be only out for a couple days. But anyway, what we're going to be doing with this, and what they were also designed to do, is to paint on ceramic. So we're gonna play with that too, because I want to make sure that we try everything that we can with these stamps and really try them out and really see what else we can do. I've never stamped on ceramic before, but I think these would be the perfect tool to do that with because of the way they're made and because of the shape of them, because they're so little and they would fit into all kinds of tiny spots. And that was Morocco, and that I just played with. And I was going to say, I can't figure out what I did with the base, but the base was right there. Then, I'm going to wipe it off real quickly. We're going to go from there, we're going to go into the dandelion, because the dandelion is very vibrant, and I liked how it showed up on my other piece that I did. And I was able to really do a lot. I mean, you can't really see it as well right now, but when it dries, you really can see that yellow in the background. And I like, missed it completely. I like to have a little bit of yellow because it's just sunny and fun. One of the things I did do with mine is I cut the edges, because you know how when you trim your stamps, I just needed to trim mine. And you know, I do that with I would say just about all my stamps at some point, is I'll trim a little piece off of it. But I trimmed them because I didn't want any edges showing up. Now we're going from dandelion to love letter. I did wipe it off in the middle bit. In the middle, you didn't see that, but I did. And love letter is red, but it's kind of a pinky red. And I like these Memento because of the size of them. And I don't know what the deal is, but this is funny that I felt like when I was doing this, I really felt the need to use a small ink pad with these small stamps. And there's absolutely no reason that I needed to do that, but I did it. I thought that was kind of odd that I don't know. Does everybody do things like that? I just thought that was kind of quirky that I did that. Okay. Then I think I'm going to fill in with some leaves. I'll clean this one off. And we'll do, this set comes with little flowers and 3 little leaves. And again, with the little leaves, it's, can you see that? It looks like just 3 little leaves, and there's the line that tells me that that's the bottom. So I just want to make sure that wherever I line that up, that my flower, I want to be right on a flower when I do that, so that my leaf is attached to a flower. I really think these are fun. And this company has a lot of handicapped stampers contact them and use their stamps because they're so easy to hold. And I understand that completely, because they are easy to hold. I would recommend them for that. I really liked the bigger stamp to have with the smaller stamps, and when I talked to them about it, I told them that I really like the idea of the bigger stamp, because when you're stamping a ton of little images, sometimes it can get hard on your wrists and things, and they are attuned to that, and that's great that they're right on top of things like that too. So I think that's neat that they really are looking for what they need to do to help the handicapped crafter to be able to craft more. And I think that's great. I love anybody that wants to get involved more with people that struggle a little bit with crafting, as some of us do. Okay, so now I can just leave it like this, but as I said, I think I wanted to make it look like it was raining a little bit, and I haven't used my crystal effects in a while, and I got this tip thing that I think has probably completely dried it up, or dried up the top at least, of these little dots on here. And then when it dries, then each one will look like a little bit of rain on our pots and on our flowers and on our background a little bit. Don't know why I got a great big gob right there, but you never know. I think that ought to be it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this real quickly, and we'll put a ribbon on it and put it on the card base. Crystal effects drops so that it looks like little dots of rain. And then I decided I needed to put a base. Well, I also decided that I wanted to make my pots shiny, and so I made my pots look shiny. And then I'm going to try and add a little more color to this. Actually, maybe I'm going to get one of those little, I can't think what you call those things, Fantastics, maybe. Yeah, that is what you call them, Fantastics. And this one is really chewed up. I don't know. It's like I massacred the stupid thing. I don't know what I was doing when I played with it the last time. It just doesn't look good. That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't look like it's something that should be working, and it might not work, but we're going to give it a shot. And what we're going to do, I wanted to make a base for my I think it's still wet, and it shouldn't be. Let's see if I can just put a little bit of base under these. I like to make sure, I mean, it's okay that the pots are just sitting there, but I think it looks nicer if you have a little bit of a base, the things that you know that the pots are sitting on. And I'm gonna keep in mind I'm using a tool that's really hacked up, so it wasn't the easiest thing to work with. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I have a really pretty ribbon. This ribbon is one of those ribbons I got from the lady that I told you I bought a bunch of ribbons from on eBay, and I absolutely loved her ribbons. I thought they were just so beautiful and just so this one, the colors, the oranges and the greens in it, really were my inspiration for the card completely, because they just are, you know, they're just screaming flowers, and I don't know, I just think they're really pretty. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half like that, and take my scissors and go at an angle, and hopefully you get a little V shape. Change it around, do it on the other side. Again, you're going to fold it in half like that, and you're going to, this has a wire in it, and I just didn't want to get rid of much of it because I thought it was just too pretty to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it around on my card, and we're going to put it on this pink card base. And when I did it before, I used the distress ink and I went around the edges with it, and I think I'm going to do the same with this one because I liked the look of it. But this time, instead of using the green for my words, I think I'm going to use something that's darker. I'm going to use this rich cocoa, I think, for the sentiment. I'm going to use the same sentiment, which is thankful for you. I like that. I have a lot of people to be thankful for, especially now. I'm getting calls and calls and calls of my friends worrying about me for my surgery, and I'm so blessed to have such wonderful people in my life, and I am very, very thankful for the people I have in my life because I have such good friends. You all know who you are. Thank you so much for being there for me. I just appreciate that so, so much. And I have people that keep offering to sit with Rich at the hospital. And my surgery, I mean, believe it or not, they're going to replace my hip, or part of my hip. My hip was put in 1991, and they're just going to hopefully replace the not the ball, but the rotator cuff. And so since they're only going to be doing a part of it, then they're not going to have to do anything, hopefully, major. So it should just be 45 minutes is what they said. I mean, 45 minutes, I can't even fathom. When I had my first hip done, I was in the hospital for a week, and the surgery took like 3 hours, and I have an incision that's like, I don't know, 14 inches long. It's huge. And this incision's only supposed to be 4 inches long. I mean, that's crazy good. And I'm only supposed to be in the hospital overnight. So, man, technology is a wonderful thing. And I am so lucky that medical technology has been there when I needed it for the things that I've needed done, because I have a lot of replacements, and it just is so great that they all seem to become available when I needed them, which is, you know, you can't ask for more than something being available when you need it, that's for sure. And then we're going to take this stamp that says thankful for you. Oh, let's put this down first. Let me get this out of our way. Shove all that kind of out to the back. And I'm going to use I'm going to put, this is the sticky tape that I used on a project with those cards the other day, and oh man, this stuff is the stickiest stuff ever, and it's so hard. Once you get it on you, you might as well forget it. You can't get it back off, and if you put it on something, you better be determined to leave it there, because it's not coming back off. It was so bad. I just kept getting it stuck to me, and stuck to the project, and then stuck to me again, and then stuck to the project. It just is, they aren't kidding when they say this stuff is sticky. This foam tape is some serious stuff. Okay, so then we'll just take the backing off of it, hopefully. Well, it doesn't, that's weird, it doesn't want to stick right there. Everywhere else it wants to stick, but not right there. And I already have a chunk of it on me, naturally, because I'm sticky. I should figure out why that is, that I'm so irresistible to sticky things. Okay, so then let's lay this down where we want to have it. Should I round those corners? I don't like them. I think I want to round those corners. This is one of the corner rounders that I didn't like, and oh, I can't. This is the sticky stuff. What am I thinking? I'm losing my mind. Oh, jeepers. I don't want to put it before I lay it down. I think I want to put it down just a little bit more so that I can put my sentiment up above it. There's that. Okay, then where'd that sentiment go? Right there. I think rich cocoa, espresso. Let's go with espresso truffle. I do love these little memento things. They're fun. And petite, like me. Sure. And I do try to give it a little bit of wiggle, not a lot, but I want to make sure that the words stick, and they did, which is like lovely. And I think, do I want to put a little bit, I like, on the other one, I put a little bit of this stuff, the greenery, but I did it with the brown. I don't want to wipe that off. Make sure I don't get green on there. No, I just got it on me instead. Okay. Make sure my line. I liked it when I did this on the other one. What I liked about it is that it gives more, I don't know, it just made the sentiment stand out more. So I'm going to put, no, I think I'm just going to leave this the way it is for now. I am going to put some pop dots. Oh, I might as well just do it. I was going to say I'm going to put some of these glue dots on it. I watched a lady use her glue dots today, and I thought, oh, she makes that look so much better than the way I do it. But then again, everybody makes things look better than the way I make them look, I swear. Okay, I think I want to just do something like that, so that it's really folded up there. She used her pokey tool, and it made me laugh because I've never heard anyone else besides me refer to it as a pokey tool. And she says, I think I'm going to use my pokey tool for this. And as soon as she said it, I started to laugh. I thought, that is hysterical that she referred to it as a pokey tool. But she did, and I loved it. So here it is. Here is, let me get this stuff out of the way. Here are the two different versions. One of these things is almost like the other. Of this one, you see how the sentiment just wasn't dark enough. And again, these stamps are from a company called Rubber Stamp Tapestry, and they are really cool, and they come in sets, and they also come individual, and I think you should check them out because they're pretty cool and pretty interesting. I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because there are some really fun tutorials coming up, and the tour of my husband's man room is going to be coming up. We just taped that today as well. And one more thing, I'm going to teach you how to make your own enamel dots out of hot glue. I am going to take one for the team with hot glue. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to be some really fun tutorials. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.